guys, Kittykatlapurr here, and today I'm going to show you all the gatherers that you would need for the island for all the resources on the island in ASA. Yay! So today I'm going to show you all the harvesting creatures that you need for all your gathering needs and resource needs on the island. This can be everything from meat to stone to even the pearls. Just for you, I compiled it into neat little chapters, so feel free to click below for the resources you need. I do want to say a little disclaimer. Some creatures I did not include, such as the Giga or the Karchar, because they're kind of end game creatures, and I wanted to make it for middle game or beginner game for the harvesting things. But there are a couple that are included that are a little more on the end game side, so keep that in mind. Also did not include creatures that passively make things such as dung beetles or the snails. This is literally just for harvesting and gathering and what creatures you can use. And we're not, of course, including like picks or hatchets or anything like that. So let's just jump into it. But first off, I want to say a great big thank you to all my current subscribers. You guys are amazing and I seriously couldn't do it without you. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button for pro-ish art content. And if you do like what I provide for you today, feel free to hit that like button. And guys, I'm aiming for the big 20,000 this year, so help me go big or go home and you all get a cookie. Yay! First, we're gonna start off with wood. And of course, the number one is our handy dandy beaver. He can quickly get us a lot of wood. And he also has a 50% weight reduction. Coming in at number 2 for wood is the Theory. With his left click, he can gather you wood pretty quickly. And for the third spot, I'm going to give an honorable mention to the Big Mammoth, because he does have a 75% weight reduction on wood when you go and collect it. And he does collect quite a bit with just a click of a button. Next, let's move on to Thatch. One of the best creatures by far to collect thatch is the handy dandy Bronto. With just one swipe, look at all that thatch that I got. And coming in a close second is, of course, the Mammoth again for collecting all that delicious thatch. And coming in third, of course, is the Beaver for being able to get you a bunch of thatch while you're getting your wood. Now, he doesn't get as much as the other ones, but I thought I'd give him a mention because he does have a 50% weight reduction on thatch while you're collecting your wood. Moving on over to stone, we got our number one contender, who is, of course, Roly-Poly Do-It. Not only does he collect a ton of stone for you, he also has a 75% weight reduction in the stone he carries himself. And for those that like to dwell in the water, you can also use your Dunkle Doofus to collect you some stone as well. And he has a 50% weight reduction on stone. And although not much, your Anki can also get you some stone as well. But he does not have a weight reduction. And speaking of Ankies, why not let's talk about some Flint? Because your Anki sure can get you Flint while you're running around getting some other stuff like metal. Now, the only island creature that can get you Flint is the Anki. But not only that, he's the only land creature on the island that can get you metal as well. He only has a weight reduction for metal at 85%. So you got a great gatherer here with your stone, your metal, and of course, your Flint needs. And if you're looking for some metal in the water, your Dunkle Doofus can also get you metal there too. And he has a 50% weight reduction on metal himself. Now, moving on to Obsidian, of course, one of the best dinos to get you Obsidian is the Anki. But he doesn't have a weight reduction on Obsidian. And I'm going to do an honorable mention for Obsidian with the Dodicris. Because he can collect you a little bits of Obsidian. He also can get you a little bit of metal as well. And, of course, stone while you're at it. And if you're looking for crystal, one of the best creatures, of course, is the Anki again. And he gets you rare mushrooms, too. Are you looking to harvest some berries or seeds? The Bronto is by far one of the best creatures to get yourself some delicious berries. And seeds, too. The Theory also does a little okay with getting you some berries, but especially if you're using him for other means, it's nice to get some when you're with him. And I'm going to give an honorable mention to the Stegosaurus as well. Because when he's on heavy mode, he can gather a little bit of berries for you. He also does have a weight reduction of 75% when carrying your berries. Moving on over to fiber, the Moschops is one of the best to collect you fiber. As well as he can get you very many different other things too that we've already talked about, and some we'll talk about later in the video. And of course, who couldn't forget the Theory when collecting you fiber? He has such delicate little fingers to get exactly what you need with fiber. Although he doesn't collect fiber, the beaver does have a weight reduction of 50% on all fiber. So keep that in mind too if you're running around with all your different animals. Moving along to rare flowers, of course the Theory comes in number 1, being able to collect you so much of them, along with some plant species X seed as well. And if you're willing to bring in your moss chops into the swamp or other stranger danger places for rare flowers, your moss chops can get you a couple as well. And coming in third for being able to collect some rare flowers, why not bring your Bronto into the swamp for a couple swipes? Not only will you have berries for days, but you also get yourself some sweet, sweet flowers. Moving along to rare mushrooms, did you know your Bronto can get you some of those too? But of course, the Theory is one of the best to get you rare mushrooms, but also the moss chops too, because you can also level up his leveling of gathering in the radial menu. So you can specifically choose certain ones, and rare mushrooms, of course, is there, as well as rare flowers. Next we have Silica Pearls, and by far one of the best creatures to collect it is the anglerfish. All you have to do is bite them up, and you got so many with just one bite. But you can also use your otter in earlier game, and he'll be able to collect you some Silica Pearls and sometimes a slight chance of getting you black pearls too. If you're looking for Pelt, one of the best creatures to get you Pelt is the dire wolf. After one battle in the snow, you can get yourself some great pelts using a dire wolf or even a Yudi. And for all those cat lovers out there, we can't forget the Thyla, who's great at getting pelts as well. Just a couple chomps and she got you all the fur. And of course, moving on to Polymer, organic Polymer. One of the best creatures to get you Polymer is, of course, the Pelagornis. Look at all that Polymer we got. I would actually suggest this if you have a Polymer farm instead of bringing your moss chops up into the snow to get some penguins. But they're great Polymer harvesters as well, especially if you level up the Polymer levels in his radial menu. Next we got oil, and of course Mr. Anki here is the best land creature to get you some from the oil rocks that are around. And for those searching for oil underneath in the depths below the water, a Dunkeldoofus is the best to gather you oil underwater. The best to get you some keratin is the Saber-Tooth Kitty, who can get you a nice little chunk of it from just one kill. Runner-ups are the dire wolf and the Yudi. Next, moving along to chitin, we have the Megatherium, who can gather you so much chitin, and he also gets a buff when he kills bugs. Beautiful. And an honorable mention for a chitin, of course, is the Saber-Tooth Kitty, who can get you a little bit of chitin, especially when you're going caving. Let's move on over to some Leech Blood. One of the best creatures to get you some is, of course, the handy, the mighty, the dandy Spino. Now, it would be really hard to see these critters well on the back of him, but after a little bit in the swamp, you can get yourself some Leech Blood with him. And if you're looking for some hide, number 1 for getting that for you is the dire wolf, a great way to stock up early game. Another great contender is, of course, the Thyla, or a bit later game, you could use the Yudi too. Now, for black pearls, the best creature to get black pearls with is with the Tuso, by killing the Tuso, of course. An honorable mention again for the otter, who also has a chance to get you some black pearls when killing fish early game. If you're looking for something to get you prime meat or even just raw meat in general, bring out your T-Rex for some delicious snacks, and he can collect you so much. If you're looking for a ton of fish meat and prime fish meat, your Spino should be your go-to for that one. And lastly, some honorable mentions. Of course, the dire bear can get you some honey. And did you guys know that if you set your Archa on Wander in the Redwoods, he can collect sap for you? But good luck finding it. And there you have it, folks. There's all the creatures that you can use. Well, there is definitely way more, but all the creatures that I like to use for harvesting and gathering, plus some extras just in case. If I did miss any creatures that you like to use, or if you have any harvesting, gathering, resource tips and tricks, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And remember, this is just my opinion. If you did enjoy what I provided for you today, feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new here, why not subscribe? I hope you all have a super, duper magical day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.